So, I want to talk a little bit about this stupid orange-haired orangutan fuckhead political guy in the United States a little bit. I'm not going to say his name because he's such a thank you.
Thank you.
There she goes. Here you go, Mimi. There's your friend. There she goes. I never talk about politics. We never talk about politics. What? Yeah. But I'm just so infuriated by this gross, disgusting person that exists. Go on, baby. Go on. Go on, pretty. Come on. Oh, yeah. I'm just so disgusted by this character. I don't even see him as human. He's just so gross. I don't pay attention much to politics, but I know how I feel about this stuff. You know, I definitely have feelings. And this guy is evil. This guy is a twisted, corrupted asshole. And he's not somebody who would ever be my friend. He's not somebody who I would ever want to know or meet or talk to. I don't want to know what he has to say. I don't care about what he thinks. I don't care about him at all. I have no feelings other than just vitriol, just like vitriolic, like ew, gross kind of thing. And the fact that this guy has been in the political sphere at all, the fact that he was the president for a while and he was in this space for a while, like he wasn't going to leave office because he was being wrongly taken out of office. And he convinced all of his followers, like, go and attack politicians because he wasn't going to be reelected. And people got killed there. And also I know that he had a mugshot. He actually was convicted of he actually is a criminal. So that's interesting that this guy is a criminal and he's running for presidency. Makes sense. But seems like once he gets this assassination attempt thing happens, and all the things that he's done and said and participated in is suddenly like he's innocent and poor guy, you know, he almost got killed, and everybody's so fucking PC about it and scared to say anything. Scared to say, like, well, he had it coming to him, didn't he? He was asking for it by behaving this way and being so vitriolic and so stupid and petty and criminal in his behavior, right? So you know, for people like be afraid to say, like, you know, I wish that he actually had been killed instead of that he just got nicked in the ear. I mean, like, if you apply this same kind of thing to Hitler, like if you think of someone like Hitler, if Hitler's having a rally and he has all these German people praising him and thinking he's the best thing since sliced cheese or whatever, and then somebody shoots at him, right, at a rally. Let's say something like that happened. Wouldn't that have been great? And he just got nicked in the nose or something. And then all of a sudden, all the political leaders who had been like really worried about him, and like this guy is like taking over all these European countries that don't belong to him. He's killing Jewish people. He's killing gay people. He's killing anybody who's like a political extreme, strong opinion political person. Anybody who's like Jewish or Gypsy or anything that's Polish or anything that's not like pure-blooded German, white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed person, which he wasn't, which is interesting. It then becomes like, what if that happened in Germany, in like Hitler's Germany, and there was an assassination attempt on Hitler, and then he wasn't killed, and then all the political leaders who were like actually going to go to war with him, like America or, you know, any of these countries, England or France or Spain or anything, Portugal, that they all then had to step up and say, oh, poor Hitler, he almost got shot. You know, we don't condone political violence at all. and poor guy, and he's not really all that bad because he almost got killed, you know, so he's a martyr now for his beliefs and all of this. Imagine if it was like that, you know, and it probably would have been. And people wouldn't have been able to go like, you know, I wish he was actually shot. You know, that would have been great if he was actually killed, because then all these Jews and all these gays and all these Romani gypsy people who are not white Caucasian people wouldn't be being slaughtered in the streets. But instead, like, what the fuck is this thing about people being so fucking PC about it? It's like they're afraid to speak out and say Trump is actually an evil dictator. He could easily be a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. Actually, the last time he was thrown out of office, he basically refused to leave office. He was right up until the end saying he wasn't going to leave office, and that all of his supporters were going to like come and stake out the White House and not leave, and kill anyone who tried to get rid of Trump. You know, he was threatening to not leave office, even though he hadn't won a second term. So you know, he's a dictator. He's a wannabe dictator. He loves attention, you know. And then this stupid like the moment that he gets shot at and he has a little bit of blood on his face, you know, he comes up like this, you know, saying we have to fight for justice or something, you know, with his stupid face. And it's like a political move, and you'd think that maybe he like planned this out in advance, and anybody saying that is like totally like, you shouldn't say that. Like, how could you say that Trump would try to get himself shot at a rally to gain more support for his cause? But it makes sense. Trump would do something like that, wouldn't he? He's that much of a dickhead, because he used his fucking mugshot when he got arrested for racketeering and all of this shit. He used his mugshot to make money for his campaign. He made millions of dollars selling T-shirts and shit with his mugshot on it. So of course he's going to use a photo of him having a little bit of blood on his face, having had an assassination attempt. He's then going to use that for his political benefit, to, you know, become a martyr, and everybody then feels sorry for him, and for him then to be able to get away with all the crap, all the horrible things he's done and said. It's like people suddenly forget that his Twitter page was full of the most stupid, asinine, vitriolic, hateful stuff. And he was actually banned from Twitter because he was being such a dickhead. People just suddenly forget that and go, oh, that's fine, you know. Or he was race-hating and homophobic, and he would write and say things that would like incite violence in people and cause people to be violent. And suddenly that's all okay because he got shot at. I mean, what is going on? And then it's also so ironic because at the same time Gaza is being bombed, like Palestinian people are being killed and murdered and maimed day after day after day after day after day after day. Babies, children, young children, mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, parents, they're all being fucking murdered. It's a genocide. Israel is attacking the Palestinian people. It's like the Holocaust all over again. I don't know much about it because I don't look into political stuff. It's feelings. I see photos and videos of little babies being dug out of the rubble, and they're bleeding. And this is stuff that nobody really looks at. It's something that, no, it's kind of like buried. But then Trump has a little picture of some blood on his face and his fist in the air, and everybody's like, oh, poor Trump. You know, he's a multi-fucking billionaire with as much attention, media attention, as you could ever want, more money than you could ever need, more houses and buildings and land and apartments and casinos and crap that you could ever need in your life. He's one of the most nasty, ugly people I've ever seen in my life. And he's, of course, getting all the attention. And I'm even talking about him, and I'm fucking living in Bali. You know, isn't that gross? And, my little puppy. My little puppy makes everything better. Yes, baby. So, it makes me really mad of course. Makes me pissed off. I hate this world. It makes me just hate the way this world is and the way it works. It's so ironic, that these poor little children are getting killed for no reason. These Palestinian children are not doing anything wrong. Political victims of war and all of this, children, especially children, victims of political war. These poor children have done nothing wrong. They don't even know what country they're in. They don't even know what Palestine is. They're just little children, and they're being buried in rubble by wars and conflicts and planes shooting and bombs being dropped on them, and they haven't done anything wrong. And there are videos and pictures all on the internet of these poor children and young children and babies being attacked and murdered and maimed by these political wars, and nobody pays attention to it. Nobody cares. It's like not that interesting. But then Trump gets a little bit of blood on his face, and then everybody's all up in arms about it and being super PC about it. It's wrong. It's so wrong. This guy is evil. This guy is like Hitler incarnate. He's not a good person. There's not anybody who's going to convince me that this guy is a good person. I won't even say his name. I feel disgusted that when his name even comes out of my mouth. When he first was running for presidency, I found it a joke. It was such a fucking joke. It was so laughable. And I was in New York City, and when he actually won the presidency, I went out and protested. There was a protest, and I went and I protested. And it felt so liberating and so good to be around people who didn't like this person. And I don't see there's anything to like about him. He's not a good person. He's an evil person. I'm not going to convince anybody who doesn't already believe that. But excuse me, I'm still getting over an illness. But yeah, it's gross. We live in a gross society. And I wish people would stand up to it and say, this guy's a fuck up, this is wrong. We need to really pay attention to what's important. We need to be loving and kind and good to each other. We need to be honest and truthful, and we need to collectively pay attention to the things that are important in life and love each other and be good to each other and be kind to each other, and not pay attention to and support these political leaders that are so evil and twisted and messed up. I don't understand why we as a society pay attention to these fuckheads. I think it's just like you're watching a car wreck and you can't turn your eyes away because it's just so fascinating. It's like people craning their necks when there's a car wreck. They just can't turn away. They can't look away. Because it's such a car wreck. It's just so fascinating and interesting that people can't turn away from it. But we need to. As a society, we need to collectively turn away from this guy. If we just stopped paying attention to him, just ignored him, then he would no longer have any power. He wouldn't have money, he wouldn't have influence. He wouldn't have the ability to gain the things that he gains from what he does. But he's probably going to be the president again, and it makes me really happy that we're not in the United States anymore, because it makes me disgusted that he would be, and he probably will be, because he's now a martyr because of this assassination attempt, and he's going to, use it, he's going to milk it for all it's worth, right? He's going to use it for every ounce of that it's worth to gain him the presidency, because that's what he wants, because it gives him power and influence and attention and prestige and all of that. It makes him special, because that's what he wants to be. He wants to be special man with the big dick. He's what a dickhead. Anyway, that's my feelings.